शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा कर्णसिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रियै। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So generally in this class where we have like small group and we are talking small, topics, not very elaborate chapters, I open up the chat for everyone. You must have noticed. But because of this, somebody promoting their own personal advertisements, your chat is now restricted to me only. And this will be like this going forward. So feel free to write down your answers or questions and participate as we go along. Okay, and again, I am not promoting this channel of anybody. I don't know who they are, and I would not encourage anyone also. And I don't like it as well. Okay, so we can go ahead with our own program given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Isopnishad. So tell me who memorized the first invocation mantra? Anyone who did not chant last time? Is there anybody who would like to chant today? You did not chant it last time, but you memorized it now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Please raise your hand. I would like to give you the chance. Is there anybody who would like to chant the invocation mantra who was not there for the first class? Just the first class people. Sharmila Mataji, Hare Krishna. If you have already chanted in before, please don't raise your hand again. Sharmila
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Sudha Mataji, you did not chant last time?
No, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
It's Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Pooja Mazakuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Om Purnamidam Purnamida Purna Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavasishyate.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay, very nice. Usha Kamat Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Om Purnam Adha Purnamidham Purnat Purnam Udyachate Purnasya Purnam Adhyaya Purnam Eva Vasityate.
Shishyate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Saraswati Mataji, and then Nidhi Srivastav Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate.
Very nice.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Yes,
Hare
Nidhi
Krishna.
Srivastav Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Poonam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adhaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Thank you very much. Vasant Kumar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You can unmute yourself, Prabhu. Vasant Kumar GS. All right, so we'll keep moving. Does anyone remember invocation mantra 1? Just one person. I don't remember the last
Mataji.
line. Yes, Prabhu. You want to say?
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
chant?
So Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnatya Purnam Udayachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Ivavasisyate.
Thank you very much. Very nice, Prabhu. Bimla Mataji, you did not chant last time, Mataji. Bimla Purmaha Mataji.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay. Just bear with me. I'll open it. Okay.
No, you don't
Om
have to open it. You
Purnamadam.
have to chant by
Okay,
memory.
okay, I'll say it without that. Okay, I'll say it without. Okay, just bear with me. I'll just get it. Okay, Purnamidam Purnastasat Om Purnamidam Purnamidaste Purnasya Vidar. I just forgot now. I need to remember it again.
Okay,
Om
come back then.
Purnamidam Purnastasate Purnasya Purnamidaya. I don't know. I need to remember it. Sorry.
Om Purnam Adaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate
Yes.
Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. All right, so anyone remembers mantra 1? That's a little hard one. Mantra 1. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat akinchana jagat avyayam. Yes, Vijaya Mataji. Only I'll give a chance to one person only, and then at the end, if we have time, I'll ask everyone else to chant. Vijaya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat kena tyaktena buncita ma krida kasya svidanam.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, rest all, please remind me. I'll ask you at the end. So let's start with Isopnishad Mantra 2. This is Radharani from Mayapur. She's so pretty. Me and my daughter were making slides last night, and she pointed out, Ma, she has a nose pin of a flower, a earring of a flower. She's wearing a flower dress, everything flower. So beautiful. When you look at the deities, let's say the mind is very disturbed, okay? Just take the deities picture and just go on looking at them. Just go on looking at them. It's healing. You'll heal. And let's pay obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and Radha Govinda, for whose pleasure we're doing all this. Okay, mantra 2. Kurvan eveha karmani jiji vishis shatam samaha evam tvai nanyate heto asti na karma lipyate nare. I'll chant one more time and then maybe 4 people will get chance. So you can raise your hand if you want to chant. Kurvan eveha karmani jiji vishishchattam samaha evam tvai nanyat heto asti na karma lipyate nare. Okay, Roja Mataji, go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kurvan eveha karmani jijivischet chatam samaha evam tyavi nanyate tost asti na karma lipyate nare. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you very much. Okay, Madhukar Mataji, go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Kurvan eveha karmani jishi visheshchatam samaha evam tvai nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kurvaneveha karmani jijive chatam samaha evam tvai nanathe toasti na karma lipyate nare.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Shanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Eveha karmani jijivesha chatam samaha ivam tvayai nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Uma Kanan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kurvan evaha karmani jijivishesha chatam sama
एवं त्वयि नान्यतेथोऽस्ति न कर्मा लिप्यते नरे.
Very nice. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Bimla
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kurvam evaha karmani jijive chatam sama evam tva vinanyaha detu sti na karma lipyate nare.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Priyadarshini Mataji. Priyadarshini Mataji.
कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि विशेष चतं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यते तोस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे.
Thank you very much. Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीवेच्छेश्चत्तगम्म समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यतेथो अस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे.
Nare. Very nice. Geeta Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
कुर्वान् एवाह कर्माणि जिजीविषे चातं समाः एवं त्वयि
Nanya heteo asti. Nanya heteo
I
asti.
got a call actually. एवं त्वयि नान्यतेतो अस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे.
Thank you very much. Hemlata Mataji. Hemlata Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Pranam Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
कुर्वान् एवाह कर्माणि जुजुवेश सदं समः एवं त्वयि नान्यते दो अस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे. हरि ओम.
Hare Krishna. Namacharya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Kurvan evaha karmani jijivishechatam samaha evam tvayi nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. Hare Krishna
Very
Mataji.
nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Very nice. Okay, Vasant Kumar Prabhu. Then we'll keep moving.
Thanks, Mataji. Kurvan eva karmani jijive chattam samaha ivam titvahi nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Okay, so what does it mean? The overview, and then we'll read. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. So we studied in Invocation Mantra 1, 3 things. What was the first thing? That everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. He is the Supreme Controller and he is the owner. Only controller and only owner. And then we have to know, number 2, we have to use stuff which is set aside for our own quota. Number 2. Number 3, we should also know what is not in our quota. So if one may aspire to live, if someone is following this Ishavasya principle for their life, then the next instruction Isopnishat giving is, one may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. So in this particular verse, very hot topic of spiritual dictionary is discussed: karma, vikarma, and akarma. Okay, so there are 3 types of activities. One is karma, then is vikarma, and then is akarma. Karma means actions performed in terms of one's prescribed duties, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. In the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt activities of devotional service, nor can one stop fruitive work. Okay, so one has to work, not has to, but one chooses to work according to the prescribed duties, according to one's psychological and physical makeup, because we are not ready to perform work for Krishna only from the get-go, because we are on the lower stage of life. That's why karma is needed. Like Arjuna is a Kshatriya, it's his karma to fight, it's his duty. But when he does it for Krishna, then that karma becomes karma yoga. But if he just fights for the sake of fighting and not have this dialogue with Krishna, and there is no Krishna, then it is just karma. Okay. So karma can also lead to karma bandhana. That's another thing that will be introduced today. Karma bandhana means the living being is eternal by nature. Like the soul is eternal by nature. The soul has no date of birth, date of death, or date of duration of life. It's just there. But due to his bondage in material existence, he has to change his body over and over. So soul is changing bodies. We studied it in second chapter Bhagavad Gita. Does anyone remember the verse? Verse number 13, I think. Chapter number 2. Does anyone remember that verse? What is the soul changing body? Or any verse from second chapter. Smita Mataji is here? Yes, Vanda Mataji. What is the verse? That soul is changing the bodies.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumadam yovanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tat namuhyati.
I am so proud of you. Thank you so much.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji.
So that's yes. Yes, Chitra Mataji. Which one are you quoting? Chitra Mataji. I think she's some audio problem. Okay, Anvya Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, it is Hare Krishna. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grunati naro parani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi.
Very nice. The way that we change the dress, the soul changes the body. So the body is a dress for the soul. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Yes, Anuradha Mataji, which one are you going to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hi Krishna.
Natvam evam natvam name. I'm just getting confused.
Janadipaha natve neshe jati nasam.
I know this. Sarvo vayam atha param.
Right. Never was there a time when I was not there, you were not there, or these kings were not there. Never ever there will be a time in future also. So that Krishna is telling to Arjuna that never was there a time that I was not there, or you, Arjuna, was not there, or these kings were not there. Never ever will there any time be like that in the future. So all of them will continue to exist. Madhuri Mataji, what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say the verse which is after 2, it is 2.22, 23, I think. I'll say that verse, Mataji. It is na nainam chinnadanti shatrani.
Nainam dhati pavakaha.
Nainam dhati pavaka. Na chainam kledayanti apo. Na sasyati marutaha.
Yeah, that's a physical property of the soul.
If you want, I can tell the translation also, Mataji.
Okay.
It is that the soul cannot be cut by any weapons, and it cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be nainam chinnati, that is what. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be moistened by water, and it cannot be withered by the wind. That is it.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have all these verses describing the properties of the soul. Gayatri Mataji, yes, you'll be the last one. So that means that the soul is eternal by nature. But why are we changing body if we are constitutionally eternal? I am not supposed to be embarrassed by birth, death, old age, or disease. I am not supposed to be going through all these changes. Then why am I going through these changes? Why am I in the bondage? This why question are very difficult questions, but here Krishna is answering this question because of the material existence. Because of material existence. Now the soul has come in the material world. It doesn't belong here. Okay. And now it is changing bodies, one body to another body to another body, thinking that maybe I am dog, maybe I am hog, maybe I am a demigod, maybe I am a human being, maybe I'm a male, maybe I'm a female, maybe I'm a child, maybe I am an insect. It's all because of the bondage, because of the modes of nature. In third canto Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 26, verse 22, Srila Prabhupada describes that lecture is very nice. I must share that lecture with all of you. 3.26.22. Prabhupada says there, the verse is Sakshaktam Avikaritam, Shantittam iti chetasaha. This is the property of the soul. Sakshaktam. It's there. Sakshat. It's there. Avikaritam. It's unbridled. Does not get disturbed. And Shantiktam. It's full of peace. It is chetasaha. That is the quality of the soul. But what happens is, for example, the example given in that verse is that let's say that there is a rainwater. If somebody goes on the top of a mountain and catches the rainwater is very pure. That rainwater does not need any kind of filtration. But when the rainwater comes down and touches the dirty clouds covering over the city, and then it comes down, it entails the pollutants, and it gets polluted. Originally, it is pure, but when it is coming down and touches that dirty cloud or dirty ground, it gets dirty. It looks dirty. So, like that, soul is pure, but when it is covered by these modes of nature, passion, goodness, ignorance, then it has to cover up further with the body, and then it appears impure, but actually, it is not impure. Priyadarshini Mataji, what did you want to say?
Karmani Vadikaraste Mataji. Karmani.
Mataji, that's not the soul. That's the karma.
But the duty, Mataji.
Yeah, but I was talking about the living being is eternal by nature. I was asking references for eternity of the soul.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bimla Adaji, I'll give you a chance in a bit, or maybe you can just say because you want to say. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
what I want to say is just like, the soul has got to come back now and then, as long as it has got desire. Once the desire is over, that is pure. I mean, it's already pure, but there is nothing more. Then you go up.
No, I don't think so, because the desire can never get over. That's the constitutional position of a living entity. The desire has to get purified, not get over. Purified.
Okay.
That's a Mayavad version. Get over of your desire. No, Prabhupada taught us purify your desire. Desire everything for Krishna. Every single thing. Desire a big house so that you can worship Krishna elaborately. Desire a lot of wealth so that you can give it for Krishna's worship. All the worshippers of Krishna were kings. They were not mongers. They were not street beggars. Kings. King Yudhishthir, Prahlad Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. They were kings of the whole world.
No, what I meant is desire for yourself. That's what I meant.
That also needs editing. Okay, thank you, Mataji. It's safe. It's safe. Safest way to preach is just repeat words of Prabhupada. Don't put your own opinion. Safe. That's the safest way to preach. Okay, this process is called transmigration of the soul, or karma bandhana, or bondage by one's work. This process that one gets this body. Let's, for example, here I'm showing, this is from 5th canto Bhagavatam, and also 8th chapter Bhagavad Gita, that somebody is doing some sinful activity. Now they have a proclivity to do the activity of a dog. Then the Paramatma is observing, and then they get a body of a dog. Not that Krishna wants them to have a body, but they worked like that. Or somebody eats anything or everything, then they have that tendency to enjoy. That's mode of ignorance and become a pig. In the next life, Krishna facilitates that enjoyment. Somebody has this subtle enjoyment by giving charity. That's definitely a pious activity, but that's not devotional activity. Then they get elevation to the heavenly planets. And somebody has a desire to worship Krishna, then that worship to Krishna is eternal. Remember Om Tat Sat, and then that person goes to Krishna, because Paramatma is observing what is the proclivity or tendency of this particular living entity. So we transmigrate according to my own work. According to my own work, I make the first move. There is a book called How to Be an Adult in a Relationship. I would not recommend the book. That book is based on mindfulness and Buddhism and all that, but I got bored. I didn't even finish the book. But one thing I liked about that book is that in a relationship, one has to become an adult. Always. Any kind of relationship, one person has to be in a position of being an adult, a decision maker. Okay, over here, now the ball is in our court. I need to be that adult now. For how to be an adult in a relationship, so my relationship with Krishna, I need to take the chance now. I need to take accountability that what kind of work am I going to do? Because I have that choice. We cannot say I don't have choice. I have the choice, always. So different isms like altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, and humanitarianism are very attractive forms of karma bandhana. They are. Altruism is the most first mentioned. Why? Because altruism means to be selfless. Like it literally means to be selfless, to be engaged in someone's service selflessly. And that is very attractive. Or socialism, but they are actually very attractive forms of karma bandhana. But if one wants to live above them, then he should make them God-centered. Then there is no harm of becoming a family man, an altruistic, or a socialist. All right, so one can be a selfless service to others, but it has to be in the Ishavasya principle. But some people have a very tendency to give food. That's for charity. That's fine, but give prasadam, food that is first offered to Krishna. Krishna has to be the first enjoyer. Then that activity is Ishavasya principle. Through Krishna, everyone else enjoys. If somebody wants to give education to someone, it has to be through Krishna. Make sure that that person is also getting spiritually elevated. Otherwise, it's another form of karma bandhana. Okay, and then altruistic activities, according to the spirit of Sri Aisha Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita, are karma yoga. So selfless activity. I took example of Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj, when he was a 5-year-old boy and he used to study in school in the break time. Now they were all sons of demons, right? Prahlad Maharaj's father is Hiranyakashipu, and all the other boys in his school are also sons of demon. So in the school, when they used to have break time, he used to teach his friends how to dance on Hare Krishna and glories of Krishna. So he was also doing a selfless service, right? But it was on the Ishavasya principle. So that is called karma yoga or bhakti yoga. Now, different categories of people. Vikarmis. What are vikarmis? Vikarmis are people who don't follow the Vedas, who are at risk of being degraded to lower species of life, and they are not appreciated by saintly people. No saintly person is going to come and take part in any vikarmis activities. And they defeat the prabhava or the purpose of life. The whole purpose of getting a human life is defeated. Then there is another class, karmi. Definitely better than vikarmi. They follow the Vedas. They are pious people. They attain Svargalok or bodies of demigods. And eventually, but then after their account is exhausted of the pious activities, then they come back and they have to return to Mrityalok. And then there is a class called akarmis. Akarmis means devotional service. They have come to the platform of devotional service to Krishna. They know fruitive activity binds and means rebirth. All right, so this is a difference. Then the last part of the purport Prabhupada explains, consequently, Sri Aisha Upanishad advises us to exert our energy in the spirit of Ishavasya. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, a long life in itself has no value. A tree lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living a long life. In living a long life like trees, or breathing like bellows, or begetting children like hogs and dogs, or eating like camels. These are the words I copy pasted from Isha Upanishad. Okay, so we're going to read the verse. It's I'm going very slow with this. Maybe at some point we need to pick up our speed. Does everyone has a book? Either soft copy or hard copy? Everybody in this class has a book?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to allow you to unmute. Yes, you can unmute and tell me. Does everyone, each one, how many people are there? 111.
Yes,
Each
Mataji.
one of you.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Is there anybody in the class who does not have a book?
I think you better ask who hasn't got it to raise their hand.
I don't have Mataji.
Who is that?
Even I don't
Hemalata.
And
Hemlata,
Shashi
who else?
Chandak also. Shashi Chandak. I've
Okay.
got Bhagavatam, but not Isha Upanishad.
Okay, Mataji. Chitra Mataji, you have a book or you don't have a book?
I don't have, ma'am.
Okay, Shanta Mataji also does not have. Mataji, we have shared the book in your WhatsApp group. The soft copy has been shared. Okay, and also the link to buy The hard copy is also being shared. We will share again. Can my admins, can we please share the book's soft copy and the link to buy the hard copy once again in India?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, all of you have to have a book. There is no point in coming here and reading if you don't have a book. There is no point. You're defeating the purpose. Because right now I will give you principles. Even if we read together, you still need to go back and read. When I finish the class, I make these presentations. I still go back and read 2 times before I go to next mantra. Because you need to do that. Okay, then you have it. You have a soft copy, you have downloaded, we have shared, and we have shared the link to buy the hard copy. There should be no reason not to have it in any form. Please, if I may request. Okay, we'll read. Okay. Kurvan eveha karmani jiji vishvashatam samaha evam tvainanya hetu asti na karma lipyate nare. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way, because that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. And there is no alternative to this way for man. There is no alternative for this way to man. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Whoever has not said even once today anything, please raise your hand. You will get a chance to read. Not even once you have said anything. 108. That's Dr. Parekh or Duty Mataji. One of you. Keep your hands raised. I will just keep on asking. Okay, please don't lower your hands.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Puppet. Prabhu, you're not audible. Are you muted? Oh, you're muted again. Please unmute, Dr. Parekh.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hi, Krishna. Okay, please read the purport for us. No one wants to die.
No one wants to die, and everyone wants to live for as long as he can drag on. This temperament is not only visible individually, but also it is visible collectively in community, society, and nation. There is a hard struggle for life in every class of living entities. And the Veda says that this is quite
natural for the living being. Yeah.
This is quite natural for the living being. The living being is eternal by nature. But due to this bondage in the material existence, he has to change his body from one to another. This process is called transmigration of the soul. This transmigration is also called karma bandhana, or being bound by one's own work. The living entity has to work for his livelihood because that is the law of
material nature.
And if he does not act according to the prescribed duties of this particular life, he transgresses the law of nature, making himself bound more and more in the cycle of birth and death. The cycle of birth and death is present in life other than human form. When the living entity gets the chance of human life, however, it is his chance to get free from the chain of the law of karmas. Karma, akarma, and vikarma. Karma, akarma, and vikarma are principles very clearly described in Bhagavad Gita. Actions which are done in terms of prescribed duties mentioned in this revealed scriptures and called karma are called karma. Actions which make one free from the cycle of birth and death are called akarma, and actions which are performed by the misuse of one's freedom, there may be thereby directing oneself towards the lower region of life and called vikarma.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Of
Let's take a
these
pause here. Let's take a pause. Thank you. So nicely read. Thank you. So Prabhupada is explaining karma bandhana. Everyone, I honestly want all of you to be on the same page that what are we talking about? We are talking about what is this or no alternative to this way for man. There is no alternative for this way for man means it is a continuation from Upanishad mantra 1 that one has to work according to the Ishavasya principle. If one does not work, then when one gets bonded. I cannot say that I can drive my car without following the rules of the state or the country or the government. I cannot. I will be bonded. I am not free. So we are not free. We are free with regulations. If we act within the regulations, we are free. If we go beyond the regulations, we are not free. You know, if you have ever seen a cow being has having a noose around a rope around its neck, and then there is a length, right? So the cow can only move as freely according to the perimeter of that rope. Beyond that, it cannot. Like that, we have to accept right now in the bonded stage. We have to. It's a word is have to. Okay, it's deliberately have to. It's not that we can choose to. We have to act according to the regulations. And if we don't act according to the regulations, having obtained the human form of life, we say one can do whatever they want to do, enjoy hard, you have one life, then we are getting entangled. That's a very, very narrow and menial vision of one's life. Okay, very, very narrow. We can be free if we can free ourselves from our cycle of birth and death. That is freedom. Other than that, everything is a regulated freedom. Okay, so one has to act according to that. And this is again and again, Shastras say that having obtained the human form of life, one has a chance. It is a chance. It's not that we are free, but it is a chance to get free from the chain of law of karma. And each one of you, I have question on karma, vikarma. So I want all of you to please memorize this definition. Okay, karma means, yes, karma means actions which are done in terms of prescribed duties mentioned in the revealed scriptures. That's called karma, but that is also bonding. A karma means action which one does, but there is no reaction. There is freedom from the birth and death cycle. And vikarma means forbidden action, doing something which I'm not supposed to do. That is vikarma. That leads to lower species of life. Okay. Okay. Neha Mataji, go ahead. Neha Rai, Mathur Mataji. Of these three categories of karma activities.
1 second. Yeah. Of these three categories of activities, the one which makes one free from the cycle of further bondage to karma is preferred by intelligent men. Ordinary men want to perform good work in order to be recognized and to achieve some status of life in this world or in heaven. But more advanced men want to be free altogether from the actions and reactions of work. Intelligent men know well that both good and bad works are equally causes of the material miseries of life. They therefore seek to do work which will free them from the reactions of good and bad work. This freedom from good and bad work is ascertained herewith in Sri Ishopanishad. The instructions of Sri Ishopanishad is better explained in the Bhagavad Gita, sometimes called Gitopanishad, the cream of all the Upanishads. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead says that no one can attain the state of nice karma or akarma without beginning the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. The Vedic literature can regulate the working energy of the human being in such a way that one can gradually realize the authority of the Supreme Being. When one realizes the authority of the personality of Godhead, it is to be understood that he has attained the stage of positive knowledge. At this purified stage of life, where the modes of nature namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, cannot act, one is enabled to work on the basis of Naish karma,
Yeah.
or work which does not bind one to the cycle of birth and death.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Let's take a break. So, very important instruction that Prabhupada is saying there is intelligent class of men and there is ordinary class of men. Intelligent class of men will seek out a work which will not give any reaction. Ordinary class of men are very busy in performing good work in order to be recognized and to achieve some status of life in this world or in heaven. But more advanced men want to be free to get all together. Okay, now there are so many pitfalls in this. This statement can be misunderstood and has been misunderstood by so many people, because they may say that, oh, that means that we have to change our position. That means that we have to, let's say that I am working in an office. That means I have to give up my office work and I have to live in a temple and I have to become a brahmachari or a sannyasi or a vanaprastha. Because grahastha life is not congenial for Krishna consciousness. But that is a myth only. It's not mentioned. You see, we have to take Prabhupada's statement as it is. He's not mentioning, he's not saying that we have to change our position. He's not. Neither Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ever said that change your position. We can keep our position wherever we are according to our psychological makeup. We cannot fight. We cannot fight with our psychological makeup. But we have to bring Krishna. Then we'll become intelligent. Okay, if I am very attached to doing one kind of a work, I'm very attached to working in an office, fine. But do something for Krishna at the same time. Krishna will give all the resources, all the knowledge, all the necessary, whatever is needed to do for Krishna. But if I'm very happy that, oh, I'm so charitably disposed, oh, I am helping so needy people, then I am the enjoyer and I'm the sufferer. Because then I am putting myself superior to the other person, saying that I am able to help them because they don't have a food to eat. So let me give them what I have. That is that is the enjoyment for sense gratification. But one can also help the needy person with the consciousness that let me help this person who is hungry, who is in need of food, clothing, and shelter in a very Krishna conscious way. Let me give them Krishna prasadam, not so that not only their bodily hunger is satisfied, but the hunger of soul is also met. Let me teach them Krishna consciousness and reinstate that, okay, you belong to Krishna. You think you are suffering, you think you have nothing, you think you have nobody to take care of you, you think you are alone, but you're not alone. Krishna is right there in your heart. See, chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna comes and dances on your tongue. That is a karma. Devotees went to Israel. Where is that Iraq and Israel border where the war is going on? Namanisha Prabhu was telling us one day. So the devotees went over there and they spoke to the refugees. And they spoke to them and they were saying that you all feel alone. You all feel being left out from your homes, from your countries, and you feel like a refugee. And they all said, yes, we all feel like that. And said, okay, actually, we are all refugees here. So they made it so generalized. It's so calming to hear. Devotees told those people who were suffering, that actually we are all refugees here. We are trying to make our refugee camp very nice and decorated, but we are refugees. It is true. So why don't we go back home where we actually belong, and rather than changing our camping dress and camping places? Okay, we'll go on. Poonam Mataji, please go ahead. Factually, no one has anything to do. No one has to do
Factually,
anything.
no one has to do anything more than to render devotional service to the Lord in the lower stage of life. However, one cannot at once adopt the activities of devotional service, nor can one completely stop reactionary work. A conditioned soul is accustomed to working for sense gratification, for his own selfish interest, immediate or extended. An ordinary man wants to work for his own sense enjoyment, and when the principle of sense enjoyment is extended from the individual to include the collective society, nation, or humanity in general, it assumes various attractive names such as altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, humanitarianism, etc. These isms are certainly very attractive forms of karma bandhana, the bondage of one's own work. But the Vedic instruction of Sri Ishopanishad is as follows. If you actually live for any of the above isms, make them God-centered. There is no harm in becoming a family man, an altruist, socialist, communist, nationalist, or humanitarian, provided all such activities are executed in relation with Isha Vashya, the God-centered conception.
Very nice, Mataji. Let's take a break here. Thank you.
You, Mataji.
I'm hearing your voice after so many months. Thank you. So nice. The principle is very clear. At least Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna spoke so many verses, but the principle is Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Ham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Shami Mastucha. So the principle is factually just surrender to Krishna, work for Krishna, you will be saved. But the application of the principle, that's jnana. There's a difference between jnana and vijnana. Jnana is theoretical knowledge. Vijnana is application of the knowledge. Application of the knowledge is more important and more difficult than just the theoretical knowledge. Okay, so principle is surrender to Krishna and you belong to Krishna and Krishna will take care. And surrender to Krishna by finding out a bona fide guru. Everything is there. But the application is, I can't do it. You see, there's so many attachments I have. You know, Prabhupada, he wrote a book called Easy Journey to Other Planets. So Prabhupada talks about it in one of the lectures that he was distributing this book on the street one day. And one person came and asked Prabhupada, so if I read this book, and you will tell me how to go to other planets? Prabhupada said, yes. Okay, does that mean that I will not come back to this planet? Prabhupada said, yes. And that person said, oh, I don't want it. How can I leave my family? You see, then we have a problem. We have this attachment. There is a very fine line between attachment and affection. Prabhu was telling me the other day. We can have affection for everyone. Affection for my family members, affection for my society, for community, for nation, for the whole world. But the attachment principle has to be only for Guru and Krishna. One has to live like that. One has to practice to live like that. That affection one can give anyone and everyone, but the attachment is only for Krishna. Then we are safe. We will not be cheated. You know, the more a person is attached to something external, the more they carry that hurt. Most common trauma in the whole world is not from anywhere outside their own family member. I have seen it many times now. Many of you have also seen it or experienced it. I have seen it in children too. Parents pass it on to children, and that's called generational sin because they don't get nullified. So most common or most prominent trauma that anyone is carrying or hurt that anyone is carrying in their heart is from their closest near and dear ones. Why? Because of the attachment. Why? Because the attachment is perverted. So Isha Upanishad gives us the practical example that give affection, but attachment, Krishna. Say something and it has to be through Krishna, for Krishna. So there are three principles. What is this? Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. Bhajo Krishna, Kaho Krishna. Bhaje Krishna. Kaho Krishna, Suno Krishna Katha. These three principles are described in that bhajan. Bhajo Krishna, talk about Krishna. Kaho Krishna, speak about Krishna. Talking and speaking means you can chant and singing and giving katha or discourses on Krishna consciousness and listen about Krishna. and increase your attachment about Krishna. This is how we increase our attachment to this world. We increase our attachment to this world by hearing about the news of this world, and by listening to the news, and by talking about the news of this world. By hear and we talk, hear and talk, and then we get attached. The same principle, hear and talk, but do Ishavasya principle. Okay, one can be anything they want to be, but it has to be God-centered. Otherwise, we are risking our own life. Krishna is not in trouble. We are in trouble. Okay, so we'll go on. Vishalakshi Mataji, please go ahead. God-centered activities are evaluated in Bhagavad Gita. She's not able. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
I can read Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. God-centered activities are evaluated in the Bhagavad Gita as being so rich that even a little bit of them can save one from the greatest danger. The greatest danger of life is to glide down again into the evolutionary cycle of birth and death. If some way or other a man misses the spiritual opportunity offered by his human form of life and thus glides down again into the evolutionary cycle, it must be considered the most regrettable incident. Although foolish man cannot see this due to his defective senses, Sri Ishobanishad advises us, therefore, to exert our energy in the Ishavaisya spirit, and in that engagement, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, one's long life is better than that of a tree, which is also a living being, and which lives for hundreds and hundreds of years. There is no point in living a long time like the trees, or breathing like the bellows, or begetting children like the hog and the dog, orating like the camel. Even a humble life with God-centered activities is more valuable than the colossal hoax of so-called altruism or socialism without any relation to God.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Let's take a break. Thank you very much. So we have built from the concept of karma, and then karma, so karma bandhana, and then describing what is akarma, and then describing what is vikarma, and then glorifying the qualities of akarma. Glorifying the qualities of akarma, even one can be a family man, an altruistic, or socialistic, or communist, or nationalistic, or humanitarian, anything they want to be, but akarma is glorified. But we do it in the Ishavasya principle, and that glorification of Ishavasya principle continues now. That if one does a little bit activity for Krishna, Krishna remembers it. Krishna is looking. He's waiting. God is waiting. When will this person do something for me? Okay, and that is called, like Putana. Pastime of Putana is very, very glorious, because Putana came to kill Krishna. She wanted to kill Krishna. She poisoned her milk so that Krishna will drink and he will die. Okay, like imagine somebody comes to kill us, but Krishna took it that she has come to give me milk, so she is of the position of my mother. So he gave her a position of Mother Yashoda. That is Krishna. Krishna can do whatever. He's a Vijnana Swarat. He can decide. He's not under the obligation of anyone's judgment about him, what he should do with this person or that person, because Krishna is looking. Krishna wants to own us back. Krishna wants us back so badly. If we do a little bit approach, he grabs it and come back. Okay, done. You did this much. Okay, come back. That is so. I don't understand. So I also don't understand that Vasudev got a chance to get himself out of the shackles of prison and carry Krishna to Vrindavan in the middle of the night. I don't understand why he came back and put the shackles back. It's so, once we get a chance to run away from the prison, why will we come back? He came back and he put himself back in that position, thinking that this is my position. Because they're living life by Ishavasya principle. Anything for Krishna's pleasure. Doesn't matter dangerous or not dangerous. But if somebody just wants to live their life, prolong their life this way or that way, first of all, we cannot. But if theoretically, let's say somebody does it, then it is no better than the life of a tree. Standing there for thousands and hundreds of years, doing what? Nothing. In the other words, Aisha Upanishad is condemning such a life of a person. Quality is more important. Okay, so we'll read the last paragraph. Duty Mataji, please go ahead. When activities such as
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
When activities such as altruism are executed in the spirit of Sri Isopanishad, every one of them becomes a form of Karma Yoga, as is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita, and that guarantees the executor against the dangers of the evolutionary process of birth and death. Such God-centered activities, even though half-finished, are still good for the executor, because they will guarantee him the human form of life in his next birth. In this way, he can have another chance to improve his position on the path of liberation.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So, Hare Krishna. So, Om Tat Sat principle is explained here. The person who is doing some activity for Krishna, the doer of the activity becomes eternal. The activity becomes eternal, and the result of the activity is also eternal. Doesn't matter whether it's finished or not, but just the activity itself is eternal. Like right now, we are reading Srila Prabhupada's books. That result is eternal. We are guaranteed human form of life, at least to the least. None of us are going to see the hell. None of us are going to go back to the evolutionary cycle once again, because we heard the words of a pure devotee. Such a big benediction. At least that much is now guaranteed. Now lift yourself up, chant Hare Krishna, and guarantee your ticket back to Goloka Vrindavan. Now human form life is guaranteed. Done deal. Prabhupada gave it, but now lift yourself more up. Okay, so again, what did we do today? That we discussed karma, karma, and then we discussed what is karma bandhana, and then we discussed what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma. And the rest of the chapter was the glorification of akarma, how akarma can be executed in God-centered activities, and one can be a socialist, a humanitarian, or altruistic, or family man, or communist, or whatever, nationalist, but make sure it is God-centered. Okay, and then if one lives like that, then the activity becomes eternal, the performer becomes eternal, the result becomes eternal, and we don't go back to the evolution. We don't go back to the cycle of evolutionary cycle. We at least get a chance for human. I just want to go back. I don't want to be a human, because we can forget once again. There's a fear, but at least that happens. So I have a question now. So many hands are raised, so it's going to confuse a little bit. I'm just gonna Krishna. I'm just gonna lower all the hands before I ask the question, and then you can raise your hands to answer the question. Thank you very much, everyone. So define what is karma. Who has not spoken anything today? Please. Yes, Annapurna Mataji, you were going to say. Annapurna Mataji, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, according to the mantra 2 of Isopanishad, karma is of 3 types. Vikarma, akarma, and just got confused.
And karma. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
What is the definition of karma?
Karma are the actions done by a person which leads to spiritual upliftment.
That's akarma. You're a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Reshma Mataji, what is karma? Define karma according to what we studied today. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Actions that are performed as per the prescribed, done as the prescribed duties mentioned in the revealed scriptures.
Very nice. And everyone else, can you please type? Rita Mataji typed, and Puna Mataji typed. Very nice. And Guru Murti Prabhu typed. Very nice. One more person will be Khushbu Mataji. Yes. What is karma?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Actions which are done in terms of the prescribed duties mentioned in the revealed scriptures are called karma.
Very nice. But that leads to another material body though. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Okay, who's going to define what is akarma? What is akarma? Some of the hands are raised, so maybe I can go on. Everyone, please type your answers and then. Kirti, iPad, what is akarma?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Akarma is action which leads to being freed from the cycle of birth and death.
Very nice. And in other words, akarma is also called as devotional activity. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Uma Mataji, you want to tell me what is akarma?
Yes, Mataji, which is free from cycle of birth and death. That is Krishna consciousness.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Who's going to tell me what is, yes, very nice. People are writing. Very nice. Thank you very much. So what is Vikarma? Who is going to tell me, who has not spoken anything today? I want that person. My co-host, Rupa Mataji, what is Vikarma?
Vikarma is doing bad activities, Mataji, in the mode of
Very nice.
ignorance.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Gayatri Mataji, what is Vikarma?
Forbidden actions.
Forbidden actions. Very nice. So, Shri Priya Mataji, what happens if somebody does a Vikarma? What is the result? Shri Priya Sampath Mataji. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. What is the result of a Vikarma?
Actions which are performed by misuse of one's freedom, thereby directing oneself towards the lower regions of life. You go to the lower regions. You come back to the lower life. You come to the lower entity.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So, Seema Mataji, what happens when somebody does akarmic activities? What is the result?
Karmic is God-centered activity. So he goes closer to God.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. What happens if somebody does the karmic activities? What is the result of that? You can type, or some new person, please raise your hand, because everybody whose hand is raised are senior students now. They have spoken today once. What happens if somebody does a karmic activity? Usha, Nidhi Srivastava Mataji, I didn't hear you today. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, they will be lifted to higher planets, but after they enjoy the fruits, they come back to the material world.
It is a material world. Higher planets is also material world. They come back to the Mrityu Loka, this earthly planet.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Okay, so this is what I have to teach you today. Please read introduction, invocation, mantra 1, mantra 2, and then we will do mantra 3 next Monday. Does anyone has any questions? Yes, Hemlata Mataji, very nice. Mahi Mataji, very nice. Does anyone has any questions? Some hands are. Vimla Mataji, do you have a question?
I just wanted to know whether we need to know all the mantras by heart, because I have problem to know by heart.
No, Mataji, you will not have any problem. We'll just hear once a day. So, Bhakti Shastri, they recommend invocation mantra and mantra 1.
Okay, that's
2
fine.
mantras.
I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Asha Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this spirit of Isavasya, could you little explain more? Other than exert of energy, means we have to divert our energy towards Krishna consciousness, or what it is? I was not able to get it.
Okay, who is going to explain it? Sharmila Mataji, may I request you to explain the Ishavasya principle?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Like
Krishna.
it is said that everything animate and inanimate in this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. So we should accept only those things which are set aside like as our quota, and not accept other things which are not meant for us, knowing well to whom it belongs. Just like a cow, it gives milk to us, but it doesn't drink itself. It eats straw and hay or something. So the Lord has made the arrangement, like what has to be like taken, like our quota is kept aside. So the cow doesn't drink its own milk. Same way, like even for the tiger, there are like carnivorous animals, herbivorous animals. So we have to stick to that. So whatever Krishna has said, we have to eat only vegetarian. So we shouldn't eat meat and all. So what is set aside as our quota, we should go for it and not, and that will lead to entanglement. And I don't
Very
know.
nice.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, did you get it?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dyuti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari bol.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I just had one doubt. What is the meaning of Naisharma as we came across Mataji?
Nash Karma. That was a misprint.
Nash Karma. Okay. What does it mean, Mataji?
Yes. So what does it mean, Nishkarma? Nishkarma Karma Yoga.
Nishkarma. Okay, Mataji. A work which does not bind us to the cycle of birth and death. Is it that, Mataji?
Just wait a second. Namacharya, what is the meaning of Nishkarma? There is a Sakam Karma Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga. So what is Nishkam Karma Yoga? Namacharya? I think she's having problem. Yes, Anya Mataji, would you like to explain us what is the difference between Nishkam and Sakam Karma Yoga?
Yes, Mataji, Nishkam Karma Yoga is activity done for Krishna, and the fruit of the activity is also offered to Krishna. In Sakam Karma Yoga, the activity is done for Krishna with the expectation of the fruit. For example, Dhruva Maharaj, it was Sakam Bhakti, where he first initially set out to the forest. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great grandfather, but when Bhagwan he got the realization of the God and Vishnu appeared before him, that time he did not wish.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Kingdom, it was given to him. But
Thank you so much.
initially, there was a desire in the mind to acquire something.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
Dyuti Mataji, Nishkam Karma Yoga, as she rightly said, is the activity and the fruit of activity both are for Krishna. Both.
Okay, Mataji. Okay.
Sakam Karma Yoga is one is attached to either the activity or the fruit, something we are attached to. We give partially it is given to Krishna, not fully.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Usha Mataji, yes, you have a question?
Yes, Mataji. I wanted to ask this. We said that in karma, actions which are done in terms of prescribed duties mentioned in the scriptures, what do they mean by prescribed duties, Mataji?
Mataji, 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita explains it, right? The cycle of sacrifice, that one who follows the prescribed duty, he gives example of production of grain. Krishna gives example of production of the grain. Let's say that a farmer is following its prescribed duty of sacrifice. So they worship Indra according to the Vedic scriptures. And Indra gives rain. The rain gives grain. And from grain, so many foodstuffs can be made. But one has to offer that foodstuff to Krishna, because Krishna was the first person who taught us what is our prescribed duty. Okay, it's kind of a karmakandic cycle only, but we have to begin somewhere. But if you're not ready to begin from Krishna directly.
But Mataji, in reference to us, how does it, I mean, what do we do then? Prescribed duties for us.
For example, if you are a mother and you have children that you have to raise, then it is your prescribed duty to raise your children, but do it in such a way that they become Krishna conscious. So raise your children. No one is telling you to go to the jungle. Raise them, but raise them in such a way. Do your duty, but make it as a karma. That is prescribed duty. Raising your children is prescribed duty. Okay, but the activity can become devotional if you make your children also a staunch devotee of Krishna. Then that prescribed duty becomes a devotional duty.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Khushbu Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
So I want to just say, everyone, I'm sorry, Khushbu Mataji is a history teacher and she is teaching Upanishads in her classroom.
yes, Mataji, I
So
was
nice.
supposed to be teaching them. I took a class today.
Very nice. So you must have, how did it go? Was it good?
I was actually confused on how to make it simplify for them, because I just have 2-page content and I have to explain so much. But I showed them the slides of Upanishads. I'll be going a little more detail in the next class. So hopefully I
Okay.
will be able to explain them.
Okay. Okay. How can I help you?
Mataji, my question was, you explained in the last paragraph that it is Om Tat Sat principle is explained here. Mataji, I didn't understand that part. If you could just
Do you remember the meaning of Om, Tat, and Sat?
One, God is the Krishna is the true Godhead. I mean, the Supreme Lord. Does it means that?
So, okay. So, that is always true. That's the safest answer. You know, in medicine, in pharmacology, I think Dr. Parekh can back me up if he's still here. We used to have exams of a write down in school, in medical college. Okay, I'm just sharing that. Sorry to go tangential. What is the side effect of this drug? So the safest answer used to be vomiting and allergic reaction and abdominal pain. So, like that. Dr. Parekh, do you second that? Is the safest
Yes,
answer used to be?
yes, very much. You prepare a sentence which has 3 or 4 side effects, almost common to all drugs. So you
So-
first breathe out that.
Yeah, so like that, it is always safe to say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Always. It's always going to be right. So, Om Tat Sat. Yes, who's going to explain Om Tat Sat? Which of my admin is ready? Om Tat and Sat, 17th chapter Bhagavad Gita, towards the last 4 verses. Okay, if there, Mataji, Om Tat Sat means Om is one has to begin the activity with the word Om, perform the activity with the word Tat, and end the activity with the word Sat. So what it means is it is for Krishna. We are going to do this activity for Krishna. We are doing it for Krishna. And the result that has come is also for Krishna. That is the literal meaning of the word Om, Tat, and Sat. Okay. So Prabhupada is writing here, right? If you read it. When activities such as altruism are executed in the spirit of Sri Isopnishat. So executed is like Om. We are doing it. Every one of those then becomes the form of Karma Yoga, as is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita. So becomes is present, executed, become is like Tat principle, and that guarantees the executor against the danger of evolutionary process of birth and death. So in future, or the result is going to be Sat, means it is going to be eternal. So with taking into consideration this is my realization, taking into consideration that it is executed for Krishna, it is done for Krishna, and the result will also be for Krishna. So Krishna will take care of everything. The performer will become eternal, the performance will become eternal, and the result of the activity will also be eternal. So that is Om, Tat, and Sat.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji, we can stop recording, Seema Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, I'll just do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.